Hello and welcome from me, Noel Cronin. When you think of the great cinema comedians, which names come to mind? Chaplin, definitely. Laurel and Hardy, of course. For me, Jacques Tati stands among those greats, and I'm very excited to be showing two of his films on Talking Pictures TV for the very first time. In 1967's Playtime, Tati once again brings his famous character, Monsieur Hulot, to the screen. Monsieur Hulot finds himself in a shiny new glass and steel suburb of Paris with hilarious consequences. If you've been to the La Défense area of Paris, you'll know the kind of place I mean. But being Tati, he didn't film there. No, he built his own suburb. It nearly bankrupted him. A man who truly suffered for his art which has brought joy to millions. Traffic was made in 1971 and was the last film to feature Monsieur Hulot. This time he's taking his new camper van to a motor show in Amsterdam. What could possibly go wrong? It's hard to overestimate Tati's importance, not just in French cinema, but in all cinema history. I'm so pleased to be able to bring you two chances to see this comedy genius at work.
Nous sommes là-haut. Attendez, stop.
Niet zo hard, langzaam.
Comme ça, ça doit aller.
Oh no, ridiculous.
What? C'est bon là,
What do you need me for?
Allez.
Pourquoi moi?
On y va?
I haven't done
Hop.
a thing.
Ja, laat maar zakken.
Sticking with international theme, we have a new television series coming your way. The Man from Interpol stars Richard Wyler as British agent for Interpol, attached to Scotland Yard. The show was first broadcast in 1960 and sees our hero seeking out murderers, drug runners and assorted international ne'er-do-wells. You'll recognise John Longdon, who plays this superintendent. He made 6 early films with Hitchcock, including Blackmail, Britain's first talking picture. Join him and Richard Wyler for your weekly visit to The Man from Interpol. Time for some music and a rare short film from 1959 showcasing the work of American harmonica genius Larry Adler, perhaps most famous for his Oscar-nominated score for Genevieve. Larry settled in Britain in the 1950s. Here we see him perform with pianist Ellis Larkins. As well as Larry's own compositions, there's music from Bach, Mozart, Gershwin and W.C. Handy. Something for everyone in this short film showing the range of the man who popularised the harmonica. My thanks to all of you who take the time to write in. I'm always happy to answer your questions, if I can. Here's one from viewer Jack in Wales. Dear Noel, firstly, thank you for all your memories and for finding so many amazing films and series for us to enjoy. But I wondered, how does one go about finding new old things? Where are they hidden? Who owns them? Acquiring them sounds like a fascinating process. Many thanks, Jack. Well, it's a fairly straightforward process, if anything straightforward in television, that once you've decided what series you would like, you then find out who owns the rights and approach them to see if they'll sell a license to you or grant you a license for that series or film. The road is full of many disappointments, prices too high, rights sold elsewhere, etc. But we persevere, as you can see. If you're a fan of film noir, you'll be familiar with the settings, usually the seedy side of places like Los Angeles, San Francisco, London and Blackpool. Yes, you heard that right, Blackpool. Well, noir means black, so what better location? Forbidden from 1949 stars Douglas Montgomery as a pharmacist down on his luck and working at a fairground. He falls in love with a candy floss seller, as you do, played by future horror queen Hazel Court. The fact that he has a wife makes this affair just a little tricky. The wife is played by Patricia Burke, most famous for playing Jimmy Clitheroe's mother on radio. Forbidden does a great job with its seaside location. There's more than a touch of Hitchcock about it, especially the final showdown on one of Blackpool's best-known landmarks. I wonder if you can guess where that is. For a great British noir with a difference, I highly recommend Forbidden. My final choice today is a little-known British war film. 1961's Tarnished Heroes is another gem from the Danziger archive. It stars Dermot Walsh as an army major who leads a ragtag bunch of some of the army's most useless soldiers on a suicide mission. Co-starring is Anton Rogers. Anton began acting as a teenager on both stage and screen. He would later find sitcom success in Fresh Fields and May to December. Look out too for Frank Thornton in a role very different to those we know and love him for. What Tarnished Heroes shows so brilliantly is that war is hell, but it brings out the best in those who have no choice but to fight.
We place the charges so that the keystone... Shh. The crypt. We forgot the crypt. All your hands up! Can't see all I know! Glory be. A woman.
That's my selection for what's coming up, and I hope you'll agree there's something for everyone there. Of course, there's plenty more on Talking Pictures TV. It's all listed in our schedule, which you can get if you subscribe to our free weekly newsletter. If you want to know more about what's happening at Talking Pictures TV, why not subscribe to our weekly newsletter, which drops into your mailbox every Sunday. If you'd like to write to me, you can get in touch via email at noel@talkingpicturestv.co.uk. If you prefer to put pen to paper, the address to write to is Talking Pictures TV, P.O. Box 592, Kings Langley, Hertfordshire, WD4 4DB. Thank you for supporting classic film and television, and I'll be back soon with more choices for you to enjoy. And don't miss those Jack Tatty films, a rarity on British television.